Hello, my name is Nguyen. I am part of the NSEMP Youth Software Success Tracks program, and my project is the UH West Oahu Valki'i, or um, Realm of Pictures in English. My mentor is Dr. Jason Lay, professor of the Information and Computer Science Department, and also director of the Laboratory of Advanced Visualization and Application, or LAVA for short. My co-mentors are also Kari Noe, Mira Kirschenbaum, Ronnie Kanoe, and Kyla Foltz. They are also research assistants for the Lava Lab. This project is sponsored by the UH MANOA Academy of Creative Media and hosted by the UH West Oahu Create.next Lab. So to just give a quick overview of what I'll be talking about today, I'll be talking about the project details, the purpose, the goals, the development, and conclusion. So for the project details, the Valkyrie is a virtual environment projected on three 30-foot walls, connected to a touch-enabled digital table for user interaction, along with user body tracking through Azure Connect. I'll be talking about these in detail later on in the other slides. So this is just a very early sketch of kind of what we wanted out of the project. As you can see, the computer contains the virtual environment. It is connected to the projector, which projects the virtual environment onto the wall, and it is also connected to a table. And that table, whatever is done on it, will be sent to the computer and projected onto the virtual environment. So the main purpose of this project is to evaluate on task-based interaction to see if it is a way to root interest or familiarity of the Hawaiian language or cultural concepts in general. And when we mean by root interest, we don't mean by like replace learning as in this method, but more so as a way to see if it deeper motivates people to learn the Hawaiian language on their own. And we also want to evaluate on learning by association. And what we mean by that is when you learn the Hawaiian words or the Hawaiian language or cultural concepts through the visualization of that concept or word, and instead of learning from direct translation from Hawaiian to English, for example. And so therefore we also have a no English interface to kind of further enhance that. We also wanted to identify design affordances of virtual reality environments to better aid in cultural transmission. Basically, we just want to experiment whether virtual environments and cultural transmission can synergize with each other. And if anybody were to have a project that relates to the two, that they had a more defined hypothesis for, they can look to our project and see what worked and what didn't. So for the project goals, we wanted to have a full interactive experience with full body tracking and with the interactive table. We want a variety of species and sentence structures, and as you know, Hawaii is known for its very diverse ecosystem, along with with its complex sentence or complex language and sentence structure. We also want to survey and evaluate the effects of this project to see if this virtual environment actually motivates people to want to learn the Hawaiian language on their own. So for the immediate goals of this project, so minimum before we even want to put it up into West Oahu, we wanted to have sufficient physical interaction, which is basic body tracking and physical word tiles for people to use on the interactive table. And then we want to implement one sentence structure, one environment, and one species into the virtual environment. So I came into this project a bit later, but I want to establish what was done before I came in. So the team already worked on the system layout, initial user interface, digital word tiles, and the base environment and species. My personal goals for this project is to be able to enhance the physical interaction system by creating the physical tiles, along with implementing sound to have a more alive environment with diegetic sounds coming from in real life in real life environments and species, along with ambient music to help with the atmosphere. So for the early development of this project, we researched similar exhibits. For example, team labs in Tokyo, Japan. And then we designated an exhibit space in UH West Oahu. And then we brainstormed cultural heritage topics that could be depicted in a virtual environment. And as mentioned before, we chose the Hawaiian language. And then we began rapid prototyping. So I just wanted to talk about the sentence structure that we use for this system. We chose the Pioneer sentence structure because that is the most commonly used and most well-known sentence structure in Hawaiian. And it starts out with a verb followed by an adverb, noun, adjective, position, and location. Primarily location. And as you can see, the parts of speech are colored specifically to help guide users to know what word has to be placed where to make a grammatically correct Hawaiian sentence. And as you can see right here, this is kind of what we want to make for the interactive tables user interface. Those tiles with has an associated color. The associated color will be placed on certain slots with that color, and then whatever is placed into those slots will be visualized onto the table. So this is just a quick picture of the virtual environment itself. It's a little bit cluttered and it's a little bit small because we don't have enough space to actually show it in its full size, and we're still working on it. But hopefully you'll get to see it in its full size soon. So for the later development of this project, I searched up sounds and ambient music to implement into the virtual environment. And luckily, we were able to implement the basic body tracking features of the Azure Connect onto the system. And then I began research into near-field communication, or NFC systems, where an object will have a unique ID tag. And that ID tag can be read through a specific electronic reader. The electronic reader will send that tag to the computer, and the computer will execute a certain code depending on that tag. And we kind of want to use that for our system. It is, for example, would be Nintendo's Amiibo, where the figurine, when placed onto the console of the Amiibo, will be able to be interacted with in the console. And then we chose NFC systems mainly because it is a very efficient form of virtual communication, simply by how fast everything can be communicated and read between the computer reader and the object with the tag ID. And so this is just a very quick sound of what I spliced up. And then this is what we did this is what we were prototyping for the physical tiles. As you can see, the back of the tile has an NFC sticker on it. And then to just show what what this physical, or what the physical tiles are supposed to do, this is a good video example that I found on YouTube that will demonstrate this. As you can see right here, the card is being read by the reader. The reader sends that to the computer, and the computer executes a certain code and then visualizes it onto the program. So for the final conclusion of this presentation, a lot of complications occurred from COVID-19. One of them with me not being able to actually be there. I couldn't actually sit down and actually work on this project because I wasn't authorized to. Along with that, I couldn't actually experience the virtual environment itself to see what I could do with it. Along with that, we delayed a lot of our stuff, so we wanted to actually just move in, or we wanted to actually release this whole project in September, but we have to now just move in the project in September 2020, and we plan on fully opening in January 2021. And Fortunately, I'm able to actually work on this project beyond the summer, so I'll be further working on the physical tiles and sound. Uh, so I would like to thank the Lava Lab for taking me on for this project. Thanking Dr. Jason Lay, Kari Noe, Nuri Kirschenbaum, Ronnie Kanoe, and Kyla Foltz for taking me under their wing. And then I would also like to thank NSEM for accepting me into this program. Mainly Director Kelly Ching and my peer mentors for guiding me through the summer. I would also like to thank our sponsors for funding this project, the MANOA Academy of Creative Media and the U.S. Department of Education. And then I would also like to thank the Wesawal who create .next Lab for hosting the Valky or Round Pictures. I would like to thank you also for watching my presentation. If you have any questions, I'll be available in the digital symposium when that is online, and I'll be answering your questions on there. If there are further questions that you want to ask, you can always email me at scottngu@hawaii.edu. Thank you.